Hello everyone, I am Balasubramanian. Today we have got a couple of questions as an assignment in this day 9 training program. So without any further delay, let's go to the first question. Explain testing pyramid with example. Testing pyramid is the one in which allows the test engineers on what type of testing to start the process and on what type of testing to end the testing process. Basically, testing pyramid follows bottom-up approach starting from unit testing and ends with GUI testing. It has 5 types of testing types within it. The first is unit testing. Unit testing is a type of software testing performed mostly by the software developers in which the code is tested at the unit level. The unit level in the sense the program is tested in functions, interfaces, procedures, etc. The next one is API testing. API stands for Application Programming Interface. Application Programming Interface are responsible for connecting front end and the back end. So when a request comes from the front end, the API goes to the back end, receives the data and give to the front end. So this is also a type of testing comes under the testing pyramid. The next is automation testing. Automation testing is a type of software testing that involves the execution of test cases in an automated manner using the automation tool, where we will be writing a Java or JavaScript code for the execution of test cases. The next one is manual testing. Manual testing is a type of software testing that involves the execution of test cases manually by the test engineers by looking at the software, verifying the test cases. The next one is GUI testing. Testing the graphical user interface of the software is called GUI testing. Here, the tester should be testing the application on the basis of how the user uses the application. So let's move on to the second question. Explain the difference between white box and black box testing with example. So the first and foremost difference between black box testing and white box testing is black box testing is mostly done by the test engineers and the white box testing is done by the software engineers, and a minimal part of white box testing can be done by the test engineers. The next difference is a black box testing can be also called as data driven testing or functional testing or closed box testing. White box testing can be also called as statement testing or clear box testing or transparent testing. So the next difference is there are 3 types of black box testing. There are functional testing, non-functional testing, and regression testing. There are also 3 types of white box testing: path testing, coverage testing, and condition testing. So the next difference is the requirement of programming knowledge must be mandatory for the white box testing, whereas no programming language knowledge is required for black box testing. So let us see with an example. So black box testing is just giving the input and getting the output testing. Here, let us take a program which is written for the addition of 2 numbers. What the tester will do, the tester will pass 2 numbers, and if the output is correct with respect to input, that is called the black box testing. White box testing is going through the code and going through the functionality. So for example, the white box testing, how the numbers is processed within the code and how the output is got. So that is what white box is. The next question is, what is non-functional testing? Explain with example why a particular testing is non-functional. Non-functional testing is a type of black box testing to test the non-functional criteria like performance, reliability, stability, loading test, etc. to the software. So let us understand this thing with an example. Consider an application which involves the payment process. Payment details should be secured and should be encrypted. So here security testing comes into the picture, which is a non-functional. Payment is a functional testing, but the security giving to the payment details is non-functional. So let us take an application which gives result to the students. The result application will be giving result to the students, the more number of students will be logging into the application at the same time. So load balancing should be tested. So which is also a non-functional. Performance testing. Regarding performance, on how much milliseconds the application is getting opened in a web browser on various web browsers is called as performance testing. So let's move on to the fourth question. What is stub and driver in unit testing? Explain with example. Stub and drivers are the replica of software modules that acts as an alternative to the new modules or missed modules in an application. Stub acts as a module in the lower level modules, and driver acts as a module in the higher level modules as well as the lower level modules of an application. Stub follows top to bottom approach while integration, and driver approach bottom to top while integration. So let us understand this thing with an example. For an instance, consider an application with 4 modules, module A, B, C, and D. Module A represents login page, module B represents home page, module C represents booking a ticket, module D represents logout. So consider module A development has been completed and module B development is under process. How the tester should test without the module B, because while logging in, it should navigate to the home page. Without the home page, how the testers will test? Here, stub and driver comes into the picture. So the testers will create a stub in place of home page by giving a proper credentials. He should navigate to the proper stub he had developed. So let us consider home page has been developed, but booking a ticket is not developed. So he will add a stub to the booking a ticket option. So while clicking booking a ticket option in home page, it will move to the proper step. So while clicking logout, since the login function is already there, it should navigate to the login functionality. So, consider this login functionality is also not developed. By clicking on the logout button, it should move to the proper step as the test is developed. So I think my answers are useful to you. Thank you.